What happens when two unstoppable forces collide? The mighty army of Alexander the Great and the fearless warriors of ancient India led by King Porus. A battle that changed the course of world history, fought not just with swords and elephants, but with courage, pride, and destiny. Welcome to Alexander's Clash with India, the Battle of Hydaspes explored. Let's journey back over 2,300 years to witness one of the most legendary confrontations in ancient history. Alexander of Macedon had already conquered Persia and Egypt, yet his ambition knew no end. He looked eastward, towards India, a land of mystery, gold, and powerful kingdoms. His dream? To reach the edge of the known world. The journey into India was brutal. The Macedonian army crossed freezing mountains, scorching deserts, and endless rivers. Thousands perished, but Alexander's willpower kept his men moving forward. They believed their leader was not just a man, but a god destined to rule the world. As Alexander entered the northwestern region, he encountered small Indian rulers. Some submitted peacefully. Others resisted and paid dearly. But beyond the Jhelum River stood a powerful king, Porus, ruler of the Parava kingdom. Porus was no ordinary ruler. Standing over 6 feet tall, strong and noble, he commanded an army of elephants, cavalry, and fierce archers. He was respected by his people and feared by his enemies, and he refused to bow before any foreign power. The River Hydaspes, modern Jhelum, was swollen by monsoon rains. Porus guarded the opposite bank with his mighty army. For Alexander, crossing it undetected was the first great challenge. Alexander devised a clever plan. He split his army, creating confusion. He secretly marched a part of his force upstream at night, under cover of thunder and rain. Porus was deceived. The stage was set for battle. Morning broke. The Indian army formed a massive line, elephants in front, infantry behind, and cavalry on the flanks. The ground trembled under the sound of war drums. Across the river, Alexander's men prepared for what would be their hardest fight yet. Trumpets blared. Arrows filled the sky. Elephants charged into the Macedonian ranks, crushing men and horses underfoot. Alexander's soldiers had never faced beasts of such size and strength. Alexander's famous phalanx formation began to break. The elephants created chaos, trampling through the tight lines. But Alexander's men adapted quickly, targeting the elephants' mahouts and legs. Porus himself entered the battlefield on a grand elephant, leading from the front. Alexander, impressed yet determined, rode directly toward him. It became a personal duel of honor, leadership, and courage. As the battle dragged on, exhaustion took hold. The Macedonian cavalry circled Porus's army, attacking from the rear. Despite fighting bravely, Porus's army was outmaneuvered. Porus was wounded, but he refused to surrender. When finally captured, Alexander approached him, not as an enemy, but as an equal. "What do you wish of me?" Alexander asked. Porus replied, "Treat me as a king should be treated." Alexander was deeply moved. He restored Porus to his throne, and even expanded his territory. The conqueror had met his match, not in power, but in dignity. The Battle of Hydaspes marked the easternmost advance of Alexander's empire. His army, exhausted and homesick, refused to march further into India. The great conqueror's dream of reaching the end of the world ended here. Indian records describe Porus as a hero who stood tall against a foreign invader. Even though he lost the battle, he won respect that lasted centuries. To many, he symbolized the spirit of Indian resistance. After the battle, Alexander moved south along the Indus River, building cities and establishing his legacy. But soon, tragedy struck. His friend Hephaestion died, and Alexander himself would never return home. The Hydaspes was more than just a military clash. It was an encounter between two great civilizations, Greek and Indian. It brought new trade routes, cultural exchanges, and the first wave of Indo-Greek influence in art and learning. Over the centuries, stories grew exaggerated. Some claimed Alexander conquered all of India, but in truth, he never went beyond the Punjab. The real victory lay not in territory, but in mutual respect and cultural exchange. Even today, near modern-day Jhelum in Pakistan, locals tell tales of Porus's bravery. Archaeological finds hint at the fierce battle that once shook the land. The rivers still flow, silent witnesses to this clash of legends. Alexander, the world's greatest conqueror, and Porus, the proud Indian king. Their meeting changed how East and West saw each other forever. It was not just a battle of armies, but of ideals, honor, and courage. Music swells with emotional crescendo. Narrator, softly. History remembers Alexander as a conqueror, but it remembers Porus as a king who never bowed. The Battle of Hydaspes was not just a clash of empires. It was the meeting of two worlds, and even after 2 millennia, its echoes still remind us of bravery, pride, and respect. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Crazy Color Facts for more fascinating stories from history's forgotten corners.